Hey, Captain. I appreciate you for coming by. Hey, Neil. We should be getting started in just a minute. I'm just trying to get the streaming stuff set up. I'm just down here for the moment. You can hear me, right? Okay. Let's see. Get started in just a second. I'm trying to let everybody know that I'm streaming. It's been a while. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I appreciate it. Still waiting on the nudes. That's hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna do go back to funny extreme workouts. I'm gonna go to there. We had to move the table out the way so we can do this properly. Let's see. I'm glad I'm able to stream on YouTube again, though. See what the future's gonna hold. We're finna get started in just a minute. Imagine somebody coming in there and just recording out of spite. I know who was doing it. That's why I had to just give you out a link so I can restart another stream. Yeah, you get to burn some calories doing the break. I literally haven't did push-ups in a minute.
So boring. So boring.
I'm trying to look for something to try to fitness. Funny challenge and go from there. We're gonna be doing a lot of new segments on YouTube and stuff. We're gonna be doing business tips and everything. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so we're gonna try something new. We try to get this up. Ready? I'm gonna take this off of mute.
Justin from Mechanics, Houston's only calisthenics gym. Curious about the power of calisthenics and bodyweight training. Wondering whether it's real.
We might have my other cousin come down here.
Today I'm going to learn a highly effective shoulder workout, which you can do at home without any equipment. Just because this is a home workout, don't think it's going to be easy or it's not going to work. By following the techniques and workout in this video, you're going to grow. Let's go. Hey, my name is Daniel Vadnal and you're tuned in to Fitness FAQs. This workout is going to consist of 4 different exercises.
Raise this up a little bit.
The pseudo planche push-up, the pike push-up, 2 different overhead holds depending on your level of strength and experience,
So funny.
and lastly a push-up support to finish off the shoulders. We're going to start off the workout with the pseudo planche push-up. This is basically a forward lean push-up.
It's because we're finna get ready to do something.
Pushing up and down.
Exercise that is
I like to use a wall when doing these because it forces me to maintain the forward lean. This tactile feedback from the wall keeps you honest and it puts a ton of strain on the shoulders. Make sure to use a hollow body shape. Don't let that lower back arch or the hips sag and you'll be sweet. Choose a setup which suits your level of strength. Everyone watching this video will be able to find a setup which challenges them for the sets and reps that I recommend. Next, we're going to incorporate some overhead pressing by using the pike push-up. This bodyweight exercise is the equivalent to doing an overhead press using weights. That's the beauty of calisthenics. We're able to train similar movements and muscle groups like we can at the gym. For the pike push-up, I want you to walk the feet towards the hands. Doing this is going to lower the shoulders. During the set, it's important to keep all the weight on your toes. This is the best way to work out pike push-ups. At the top position, when you've pushed overhead, shrug the shoulders up to complete each rep. This shrugging motion is going to make sure you're using a full range of motion. Full range of motion is important.
What are you doing?
I don't know, but you
flexibility and size in the shoulders, especially when we're using only our body weight.
See how strong it
exercise that he's doing.
You get with pike push-ups.
You try that
Head to the front of the hands.
Look at what he's
That's the
doing.
common point from today's video. the further you lean forward during dynamic pressing exercises, the more the shoulders are going to
I'm
work.
just going to show you this
These small
exercise that
details
he's doing
don't
right
make
quick.
or break your workout when you're using body weight. Only you can keep yourself strict and accountable. Make sure you're doing
I did it already.
In this section, you'll once again be working overhead strength, except in this case, you'll be working each exercise for time. I want you spending a minimum of 2 total minutes or a maximum of 5 total minutes.
Okay, so now we gotta try it.
down. You can break this up any way you want, but most people will be able to hold
I like
each
it on
set
the
for
wall
around
now.
30 to 60 seconds in each of the positions I'm about to show.
Jonathan can do that. I can't do
For
that.
those of you with no handstand experience or confidence, I want you doing the pike handstand. Otherwise, if you're at this part of the workout and you're feeling super tired, start here too. Throw your feet up on anything you can find at home that's sturdy and get yourself into the pike handstand. The easiest progression is to hold the pike handstand statically.
Oh, no. I got a cramp in my foot.
If you're up for the challenge, do shrugs while keeping the arms straight. I like adding the shrugs because it makes the time go a little bit quicker because your mind is actively focused on something.
Yeah, get like he's
For
getting.
those of you that want more of a challenge, get into a chest to wall handstand. The
Oh
closer
my
you get to the
God.
wall, the better. Really open up those shoulders and create a space between your stomach
Oh no, I
and
can't do that one.
As with the pike handstand
I
hold,
won.
the first progression is holding the position for time.
I won.
That's
This
a,
overhead strength part of the
I
workout.
won.
oh my
is
God,
real
can you do that
mental
one?
strength. Don't give up.
Jonathan can do
Only
that. I
quit when you
can.
absolutely
Can you?
must.
Yeah, I just need to
Like with
move
the
that out
pike
the way.
handstand hold, if you're keen to level up your shoulder workout, add shrugs to the chest to wall handstand.
Doesn't need
Whether
to.
you choose the pike handstand or the chest to wall handstand, I want you to spend a total of 2 to 5 minutes upside down. I don't care how many sets it takes you, build the total volume and your shoulder gains are going to come through. We're going to finish with a horizontal push-up hold to make sure that you've completely exhausted the shoulders.
Oh, you gotta go straight up.
Beginners, I want you to hold
There you go.
push-up support, elbows straight, and hollow body position. I
can't do that. I'm back like that. I did it though.
You understand.
Oh my God.
For those of you up
I
to
did
the
it though.
task, hit a
Okay, we're gonna try to do
single
this one
training
again.
hold for time. This shoulder workout should be done 2 to 3 times per week for best results.
Try to get it.
If you're looking to build muscle and strength by bodyweight, Fitness FAQs has you covered. Visit fitnessfaqs.tv website to download our complete workout programs, which are designed for all levels and goals.
5, 6, 7.
Or it's over.
Got your leg.
Man, you on the team.
Let's go back. Oh my God. Oh, shit.
What's up, Elite
What's up,
It's Harry.
Yeah, bro, that's
That was
Today I'm going to be showing you the best body weight home chest workout, no equipment needed. Let's get started. All right, so you're probably thinking you need to lift heavy to build a bigger chest. And lifting weights will definitely help, but you can also build mass and size using your own body weight. And I'm going to show you how to do that with today's workout. Now, first off, muscle growth occurs when you tear and break down your muscle fibers during an exercise or a workout routine. Once broken down, then they need to repair. And as they repair back together, they repair with thicker and stronger muscle cells fibers. That's actually called hypertrophy. And in order to maximize your muscle growth, you must provide your body with enough fuel so that it can begin the repair process, which is why nutrition plays a big part. If you have enough protein and you have enough sleep, these two things will greatly help in the repair process. Now, the reason why weights
down
are
the battlefield. I know we ain't gonna try to do
really
that.
effective for breaking down and tearing muscle fibers, allowing your muscles to fatigue a whole lot sooner. But when you don't have any weight, or when you don't have any more weight to go up, the way that you reach fatigue and tear your muscle fibers is by extending the time under tension that your muscles are contracting for. So that means longer holds and more repetitions. The time under tension from the increase in repetitions and holds are going to cause damage to your internal muscle fibers, just like when you increase weight when you're lifting. Then the muscle repairing process can begin, which will grow and increase the size of your muscle cells, building bigger and more solid muscle. And this is why this is the best home chest workout for those of you that don't have a gym or any equipment at all and that are still trying to build solid muscle. It's not about just training hard, but also training smart, knowing not just how to train, but what to train for. And during this chest workout, we're going to be engaging all the areas of our chest, our upper chest, mid chest, lower section, inner chest, and outer chest. We'll even be isolating each pet and throwing in different techniques and elements, which will maximize and increase the results of your chest and your chest workout. So let's get right into this. We have 8 exercises. The first exercise is just regular push-ups. So this is an exercise you already want to have mastered.
We're watching.
We're going to keep our body straight from our heel to our shoulder.
Official
Phoenix. Tuck, and when we come down, we're going to come down slightly forward and come back up. Make sure to engage your core and breathe the whole time. Let's go for 20. We're going to be doing high reps because we really want to reach hypertrophy.
Okay, let's get started.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
I'm only gonna do 14. I'm not gonna overdo it because
I can do it. It's just I exercised earlier
Next
before you.
exercise
A lot
is
of
going to be a
times.
90-degree hold. This is going to be an isometrics position, and isometrics are a
A
great way to build
90-degree
muscle.
hold?
It pumps a lot of blood into your muscle. The longer you keep the muscle contracted or maintain that holding position. So we're going to go for a 15-second hold. If you can't hold for the full
15-second
hold,
hold.
that time with the minimum amount of rest possible. For example, try 3 90-degree holds for 5 seconds each. All right, we're going to go for it.
Oh,
This
so
exercise,
already.
start from a push-up position, come all the way down, keeping your core tight. So your hands are on your
Oh,
waistline.
shit.
You want to hold this position, and if you
Oh,
can,
my
you
God.
throw it in so that your feet come on.
Oh shit!
All right, perfect. Next one we're gonna get into is push-ups in a circle. Now this exercise is really good for your outer and inner chest, and you're actually gonna be isolating one pec as you go from one push-up to the other. So this is a great exercise. Let's go 8 to the left and then 8 to the right.
We're trying.
Tight.
Oh, you know what?
Push up.
I gotta pause because I need to.
Open.
I need a rest.
Unpack as you go from one push-up to the other. So this is a
I
great
need to
exercise.
pause and get something to drink right quick.
I need to take a breath. I don't know if we can do this though.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. That's why we
He
got.
said it's a full workout.
Oh, I believe it's a full workout.
Your friend said it.
Yeah. Watch this one instead. Did it let you post a link?
Hold on. Oh, I got one we're going to do.
Did it let you post a link? Or did it stop it from posting it? I could probably mod you for a second. I'll mod you for a second so that you can post it. Yeah, that's what I do is my goodness, these workouts are killer. Go check it out. I should have cut my hair before I streamed, but that's all right. I'm old enough to have for my hair to be like that. Let's see. I'm gonna check that link that you sent. That link that you sent now. I'm using my other webcam for a second. Check that out. And let's see what that other link is about. Gotta log back into the Discord. I hope that everyone's having a good night so far. Okay. Okay, I see that one now. Yeah, I got it. Let me see if I can put it up on my TV right.
Oh, I watched him. I was going to show you him, Demarkus.
The perfect workout.
No, Demarkus.
Uh-huh.
I was going to show you him.
This one?
No, yeah, about him.
This one?
No, him.
Okay. Yeah. Athlete X.
He's officially a trainer.
I wish I could speak to this TV, but it,
You
I gotta
can.
get an app, huh?
You can speak to it.
Yeah, no, if I wire the phone to it. Yours can do it naturally. Your TV. I still gotta get used to learning the features on all these TVs. Okay, we're gonna clear. I'm gonna try to put it on my stream, but I got the link new. The perfect. That first exercise, that really did something to me. Okay, by Athlete X, the perfect home workout.
That's him right there.
Sit.
That's him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, Neil.
Yeah, I helped them. I get my workouts from him.
What's up, guys? From CavalierAthletes.com.
Let me
We continue
straighten
our
this back up.
series here today. This time, the perfect home workout. And this one, I have to say, is definitely by popular demand. Actually, it's out of necessity. You see, a lot of us have been affected by the recent coronavirus pandemic, and we're restricted from home workouts. We're not even allowed out of our own houses. We're certainly not allowed in the gym. What can we do? Well, we don't have to let the games go by the wayside. As a matter of fact, guys, I wanted to make sure I put something together for you that you can use to continue to keep the games coming. And I put together this home workout that's actually going to require zero equipment. You're going to be able to do this no matter what level of ability you're at. I'm actually including both a beginner version and a more advanced version. And I'm going to give you not just a single workout. I'm giving you a complete total body workout scheme that will tell you exactly what to do for as long as it is that you're actually not going to be able to get to the gym. Right? So that being said, I have some rules that I got to lay down here to explain how you're going to do this. All right, so as I mentioned, this whole workout is actually going to be comprised of two parts, two separate workouts, workout A and workout B. You're going to perform both of them. And you're going to perform them in a staggered fashion. So you're going to train 3 times a week, total body, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In week 1, you're going to perform workout A on Monday and Friday, with workout B slotted in for Wednesday. In week 2, you're going to have workout B leading off on Monday and being repeated on Friday, with workout A being slotted in on Wednesday. So you're basically alternating your workouts and carrying this over for as long as you do the entire program. From here, you want to make sure that since we're going total body, that we're not focused on necessarily a single muscle group, but that we're covering all the major functions. And in this case here, we have 6 major things that we're trying to hit in every single workout. They're the following. Number 1, we're going to have an anterior chain lower body grouping that's actually going to be squat biased the first time through. But then we're going to actually bounce to the upper body for an upper push combination. We then go back to the lower body, and there's a reason for this, I'll explain in a second. We're now going to focus on the posterior chain, and we're going to hit the hinge patterning. From here, we go back up to the upper body to do a pull circuit. And then we finish off with an ab circuit and 1 single corrective exercise. So we never leave the correctives out of Athlete X. That's going to be the same whether you're in workout A or workout B, but the exercises are going to completely change. And again, I mentioned there's going to be different exercises for those of you who are doing this at different levels. I'm going to include all of those. The last point I'm going to make is that there's 0 rest occurring at any point in this workout. And that's the reason why we're staggered upper lower. And not just that, we're actually not going to require you to rest between the exercises of the individual combinations. You're going to perform every single one of these exercises individually for a minute. If you can't do it for the entire minute, that's okay. You can simply stop, rest, pause, get back in on the action again, and try to complete out the rest of the minute. Ideally, as you get stronger at this and better, you're going to be able to complete the entire minute for every single exercise. The exercises are staggered and structured in such a way that it should allow you to continue to perform even though you're fatigued from the exercises before that. That is one of the best ways that you can train body weight. When you realize that because of the way you can mechanically set up your exercises, you can continue to perform, it gives you the chance to actually train to a point of progressive overload where others would stop at a single point on a single exercise. This is where I think the power of this workout comes in. So that being said, guys, there's a lot to cover here. I want to make sure I go over every single one of these workouts for you, every exercise. So let's kick it off here, workout A. All right, so workout A here is comprised of those 6 major groupings, like I mentioned. And don't worry about having to memorize them or the individual exercises. I'm going to do as I always do for you. I'm going to put them all together and lay them out in a workout format for you at the end of this video. But let's take a look right here at the first combination. It was that anterior chain squat focused lower body circuit. Starting off with this exercise, it's the alternating single leg box squat. Now look, if you're at a more advanced level, you're going to perform this from a lower box. If you have to do this at a more intermediate or beginner level, you can simply raise the box. Now again, this box can be anything. It can be a bed, it can be a couch, any surface that you can get yourself down to. We move on here to something called the 1.5 bottomed out squat. And we talked about in other videos the benefit of working in that bottom range of the squat, in that parallel to below parallel range to strengthen that portion, which is oftentimes the weakest area of the squat. We can do that here again, regardless of what level we're at. We take this for the entire minute. Again, if you have to rest, pause, you can do that. From here, we then go in and we finish out this circuit, which your legs will probably be pretty proud of this point, with a simple jump squat. And again, this can be pretty taxing at this point. With other bodyweight workouts, if you had just stopped at the first exercise, or even if you attempted to take that by itself to failure, you could be doing it for a really long period of time. But when you stack them together like this, the cumulative fatigue becomes something that is able to be progressive and overloaded, and that's where the real benefit comes from. So after these exercises, again, there's no rest in between them. We go right into the next grouping, and in this case, it's our upper push. And right off the bat here, we start with a handstand push-up, a shoulder-dominated, very difficult exercise. That being said, if you can't do this, you just simply do something like this, the power push away. It's still working the shoulders. It doesn't require as much of your own body weight that you have to lift off the ground, but it's still going to get the job done. You move on from here to the next exercise, which is a rotational push-up, a little bit more of a chest bias. And with the rotation, I've mentioned this before, you get that little added relative adduction at the chest to really try to hit the chest as best as we possibly can. Again, realizing that we have limited numbers of exercises that we're using, so we have to cover the entire body. Again, if you can't do this, you can simply drop down to your knees, perform the same movement, and get the same benefits at a slightly easier level. And then you wrap it up here with a tricep exercise, this one called the cobra push-up. And what we're gonna do between workouts A and B is just hit the different positions of the long head of the triceps. This one would actually train the long head of the triceps in its more contracted position because you have that elbow straightened out with your arm closer to your body into or close to extension behind your body. We go back now to the lower body, and in this case now, there's something here called the alternating heel touch squat. This one here is a posterior chain focused exercise. Just by leaning forward, you shift a lot of the focus on to the glutes to perform the exercise, and you're simply trying to go down, touch both hands to the outside of your heels, and come back up. At a more beginner level, if you need a little bit of extra assistance, or even just a little bit of a balance assistance, you can do the kickstand variation, where you just have one foot out there, bearing maybe about 10 to 15% of your body weight. From here, we move on to the alternating sprinter lunge. Again, by simply leaning forward, we turn a regular lunge that's quad dominant into something that's more posterior chain glute dominant. You alternate back and forth. Both levels, of course, will be able to do this. And then we wrap it up here with one final exercise, the plyo sprinter lunge. So we take the same position here, and now we really want to burn it out. And we see if we can be more explosive. Stay low to the ground here where your glutes are maximally engaged. Again, at the beginner level, if you have to, you can simply make that switch at a much higher elevation. So come up out of the lunge a little bit, and then make the switch. We go back to the upper body again, this time upward pull. And in this case, we start off with the pull-up, the classic pull exercise. And again, all you're required to have here is a single pull-up bar in your house to be able to get this done. If pull-ups are too challenging for you, though, you can do this exercise instead. This is called a seated pull-up. And all you got to do is just position your legs as you see me here and lean back. And I've just got literally a single dowel or broomstick across the top of either two couches or two chairs. Again, there's a home workout and there are no excuses. From here, we move on to the next exercise, the human pullover. Again, this is a tough exercise. This is for the more advanced people doing this. It looks a little bit like the Bruce Lee dragon flag, as you see here. But the idea is, look at the lats doing the work here. I'm actually trying to pull my body up, not by moving my knees towards my chest, but by pulling my arms into an immovable object. So whatever you're holding on to, the bottom of a couch, the bottom of a bed, whatever it is, you're trying to pull down as hard as you can, and that will actually get your body to rise. So don't think of it as trying to pull your abs up, but more pulling your arms down like a pullover. If you can't do this, the bodyweight equivalent of this is this sliding pull down. And you can see I'm on a sliding surface, a hardwood floor, a tile floor. I'm just trying to pull my body back up to the top, allow it to drift out, get that stretch in the lats, and pull back in. And then we finish with the exercise here, the inverted chin curl. Again, back to that same stuff that I mentioned before. And the idea here is not just to pull with your back, but actually trying to pull as if you're curling your body up to the bar to really engage the biceps. We finish out with our last two combinations here, the first of which is a core circuit. And the exercises that we choose here start at a lower ab exercise, this one, the reverse corkscrew. You can see here that we're not just getting that engagement of the lower ab, we're also getting a little bit of bottom up rotation.
I'm trying to go through the whole thing.
We move up to the next exercise, and that is the black widow knee slide. So here we call this
I think you can.
I drive my knee in towards my elbow. I slide it up to get a little bit more flexion to the spine. The focal point of the flexion is having to done back to engage both upper and lower abs. And then finally, we wrap it up with our levitation crunch. Here, the goal is just to elevate your scapula and your shoulder blades off the ground. Not to curl them up towards your knees, but literally to just lift them up off the ground as if you're trying to levitate them. And then the corrective, as I mentioned, always finding a place into the After Next training programs, and in these workouts here, the Angel and Devil. And that is something that seems so sweet and easy, but it's so damn hard. And it gets the entire posterior chain. I have to have my quads elevated off the ground, so I engage the glutes, I engage the low back, and then this rotation of the arms is actually taking our shoulders through full rotation, working not only the rotator cuff, but also engaging the upper scap muscles and mid-back muscles as well, areas that tend to get neglected. So now this entire workout that you've worked your way through, that's one time. Ideally, I want to see you go through it 2 or 3 times. If you go through it 2 times, the workout will take you about 35 minutes or so. If you go through it 3 times, you'll max out at about just over 50 minutes. So no matter what you choose to do, you still got to work out here. It's going to take you less than an hour. And so workout A out, we were asking that second workout in, that workout B, to be done in an alternating fashion. First workout. We'll start off with an exercise here called the slit floor bridge curl.
Yeah, we were asking if you've done these exercises before. Yeah. That you showed us. It is. These some pretty neat exercises, though. I'm glad that we're able to stream on YouTube without any too many interruptions.
March. And here we're just trying to, again, work that entire posterior chain, and you'll see that this lights up a lot more than you might have thought it would because it looks so damn easy. And then we finish off with a simple exercise that at this point in the game is not going to be so simple. Again, that cumulative fatigue is what we're going for here. And again, that lack of rest is going to demand that fatigue sets in. And this is just something called a high hip flexor. You just put your feet up on any surface. Again, it could be your couch. You're simply driving up, allowing the glutes to really drive the movement here. We then shift to the upper body again. In this case, the upper body push. And now the last time we kind of went a little bit heavy on the front side with the shoulders. This time we're going to go a little bit heavier on the front side with the chest. And we do this with our variable wall push-up. And here, because we're in this decline position, we're actually working the upper portion of our chest. A little counterintuitive, but that's how it works. And as we fatigue here, you simply walk yourself down the wall to allow yourself to continue, knowing that the flat variation is going to be a little bit easier than that decline variation. So as we fatigue, we can do a few more reps. We continue to try to do this for the entire minute if possible. If you can't do this because the wall versus too hard, you can just put your knees up onto any surface, again, a couch or a bed, and you perform the decline variation. When you can't do any more, you go down to the flat. Then we take it to the next exercise here, which is actually really interesting, and it's the bodyweight side lateral raise. And we lose sight of the fact that we always think we have to move a limb in space to work a muscle. And that's not true. You see, we can actually move the body around a fixed limb.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
What we gonna grab on? We can grab on that table.
No.
We can grab on that table.
So for the first one, we're supposed to...
Of the individual combinations. You're going to perform every single one of these exercises individually for a minute. If you can't,
something to start off with, for example, to walk us through.
He said he posted at the end.
Oh, he does them at the end?
That's what he said. He said go to the end to see workout A. He post it at the end. That's what Nino said. Yeah.
Or maybe it was right there in it.
yes, and we do this with our variable wall push-up. And here, because we're in this decline position, we're actually working the upper portion of our chest. A little counterintuitive, but that's how. Widow, you can see every single muscle in the upper back and rear delts getting engaged here by this simple looking exercise, but certainly not at this stage of the game. I want you to wrap up with this one. And then we go to our last two circuits. Once again, a core circuit. And we start with that lower focus exercise, and it's the ab halo. So what you do is you try to lift and create a half a circle at the same time.
Brown with red. Go to 15.
And then
55.
So that, guys, there's your two workouts. Workout A and B. I'm going to post them right here for you so you can take those screenshots and make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Guys, you don't have to leave the game behind just because you have to leave the gym behind temporarily. I know the situation that a lot of us find ourselves in right now. I want to make sure I do my part to help you guys out and get you something that you can use. I promise you,
helping us with this.
Neil, we appreciate it a lot.
We appreciate it a lot from you.
If you found the video helpful and you like the perfect workouts, leave your comments below. Let me know what I'm going to cover. I'll do my best to do
He said, yeah, no problem.
that for you. And if you haven't already done so, guys, make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video when we put one out. See you soon.
It always showed like I guess that's the list. I'm trying to look for something that.
Programs. I use his programs, and they help all the time. You know what I say?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking at now.
That's what he
I feel like I'm
uses
losing my
programs.
identity.
Business cards, new logo, outdoor
Let's
sign.
see this other video that he got. I'm looking at the full body strength and power.
So Steve, we're in phase 2. This is the strength and power phase, and we're going to do workout 1 of week 1. Set power. Then number 2, lock and drive.
He dropped down. Low.
Let's check this out. See how far this one. Yeah. That's not bad. This next one.
Good performance in each set. We're not going to necessarily put you on a time clock.
All right, man. Well, you told
He
me
said he got it,
about
bro.
man. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Be safe, Neil.
Yeah, you gotta
I
go.
appreciate you for coming by and showing us this so we can have future exercise. Because our household is going to be working on doing a lot of. Our household is going to be working on doing a lot of exercise in the future, so I appreciate that a lot. I'm trying to get back in shape. It's good for my health and other stuff like that. It's good for the family health and other stuff. On this channel, we're also going to be bringing back business streams and also adventure streams as well as time progresses. Trying to get this channel back to where it was. My original channel was big long years ago, but I had deleted them. So I'm just starting back over and doing new stuff. I'm glad we got the new internet. There's a big satellite that's outside that provides this better than AT&T or Comcast would ever do. But be safe tonight, wherever you're from, and we'll see you during your next stream. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get started.
All right, brother. You got your 6. Let's flip over. Whatever you do on the right, we got to do on the left, right?
So we're going to go ahead and follow these exercises now. I'm going to point the camera back down because this is going to require us to get on the feet. Shalonda?
Steve, we're
Huh? Mm-mm. Well, it smells strong. Yeah, I understand. It seems I can smell it from here. Can you? Oh, that's strong. Okay.
start off with our warm up. We got 6 exercises in this warm up. It's going to take us about 10 minutes.
So you ready?
Obviously, when
You take
first
this
start,
side, I
it might
take
take
this
a little more
side.
to get the movements right. I'll coach you up through it. But once you get it down, these things all have a nice flow to them. So the first one I'm going to have you do is called the arm crossover. So we're going to have you lay on your side, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to pull your knees up all the way above your hips. So here's your hips, there's your knees. So it's like a cannon.
Above your hips.
Right? And then from here, kind of hold your hands like this.
Oh
Perfect. So minimizing the movement here, you're going to take this arm, take it all the way over, and you're going to try to touch this shoulder blade, on the ground. And I like how your eyes are following your head, and then bring it back.
Wait, what is that one?
So what we're doing here is we're focusing on trying to get the shoulder blade down. If you can't do it, that's all right.
Is it?
And just making sure that you're not
I guess it's like
right?
this.
You're not pushing yourself into a range that you
How
can't.
am I doing? 6 each side?
6 each side, you got it. And I'm going to show you, before you turn, I want to show you a cool little modification.
There we go.
See, you're not quite touching there. That's okay. What you can do is you can take your fist, put it between your knees here, your right fist, turn it this way. See what that does? It gives you a little more space. And now try it. And you see that allows you to get a little deeper, right? A little more rigid. Yeah. So as you get more flexible, what will happen is you'll take that little spot out of there. All right, my brother, you got your 6. Let's flip over. Whatever you do on the right, we got to do on the left, right? So the big thing here, a lot of people cheat is they always want to don't bring their knees up high enough. We want to try to take the low back out of it. Good. Now, I think you're following just a normal pace on this. You're not holding it too long because you don't want to We're not doing a static stretch right now. We're trying to build you up.
It's all.
We're really trying to open up that thoracic spine. That's the middle of your back. You open that up, you get better shoulder range of motion. You do some upper.
You gotta slide down.
So from here, what I want you to flip back to the other side. Stay on your side for me. And what you're going to do is extend your bottom leg, your right leg straight out, and I want you to point this knee to the sky and grab your left ankle with your left hand.
Like that.
Yep, and grab your.
This side.
Oh, this was
You got this.
challenging.
Don't force anything. All right, try to keep this leg as straight as you can. Perfect. And from here, everything here is going to stay pretty stable.
Okay, let's go
What
rewind
you're going to do is
this
keeping your
Oh,
foot flat like this. You're
exercise.
going to try to lift this leg, keeping it straight
This
as
is
high
a
as you
different
can
exercise now.
without kicking it forward.
Okay.
All right? So come up and hold for a sec, and then back down. So we'll go 10 reps on this. Just 1 second hold and bring it back down.
Hey, I was getting used to that.
Their shoulder range of motion.
The
Do some
first
upper
exercise? No, we're going
So
back.
from here, what I want you to do is flip back to the other side. Stay on your side for me. And what you're going to do is extend your bottom leg, your right leg straight out, and I want you to point this knee to the sky and grab your left ankle with your left hand.
Like that.
Yep, and grab your ankle
Oh,
with your left hand. You got it. Just like that. Don't force anything. All right, try to keep this leg as straight as you can. Perfect. And from here, everything here is going to stay pretty stable. What you're going to do is keeping your foot flat like this. You're going to try to lift this leg, keeping it straight as high as you can without kicking it forward.
Okay.
All right? So come up and hold for a sec, and then back down. So we'll go 10 reps on this. Just 1 second hold and bring it back down. So one of the things that we try to do in these dynamic warm-ups is try
That
to do
is
some
tight.
things, hit the body, hit the muscles in some
Not
different
really.
ways that we might not get
Yeah, but
from
you're not doing it
basic
right.
strength training.
I am good.
So these are like low-level strength training exercises. So go ahead and let's flip it over. We'll try the other side. So the important thing is just to stay really straight. And
Let's go over to your side. So
you don't really have to. It's easier because you're already set up. Notice how the arm crossover sets you up for this one really well. Good. So get straight. Yep. And the other thing here is you're pretty good, but I'm going to adjust you a little bit. Move this foot a little more towards me and roll a little bit more towards me so you're perpendicular to the floor. You'll notice that's a little bit tougher. Right? Yeah. So you don't want to be kind of facing the ceiling. You want to be perpendicular to the floor, 90 degrees. And what I really like how you're doing is you're keeping this foot flat, or your toes pulled towards your nose, which is exactly the position that your foot would be in if you were standing up using these muscles, right? So that's important. We want a good transfer. All right, Steve, so as soon as you're done here, I'm going to get you to spin over so you're on all fours, all right? Good. So now we're going to kind of adjust this position. I want you to go really wide with your knees, so nice and wide outside your hands, good, and sit your butt back far, just like that. And I like how your arms are out.
oh my God, what is this?
What you're going to do, you remember the old, what's the old sprinkler dance? Right? Oh, yeah, you know that one. So I want you to put your hand behind your head with the left hand.
Remember that one? I still do that.
Yeah. So go left hand behind the head, behind the neck. You got it. So from here, take this elbow and now try to take it to the sky. So try to point it to the sky and straighten the spine. But don't force it. Good. And now bring it down and just kind of like thread the needle here. Good. Not too far. That's the easy part. And now go back up. Good. So think about this like you're doing a bow and arrow. Just look at me for a second. Think about it like this. So as this goes up, you're pushing into the grip. You got it. All right. So give me 6 per side. Don't force anything. Pause for a second at the top.
I can't do this.
It's easy.
And one of the reasons we have your hips back like this
You're not used
is because you notice how as you
Because
go
you
up
want
and
like
increase
this,
to
you
the
put
ceiling,
like
your hips want to
this.
shift to the left.
You want like
That's
this.
because
You
your lower
like
back is
this.
trying to take up for what your thoracic spine, which is what we're trying to
What you have
mobilize
to
here,
do?
doesn't have. So by keeping your hips far back, it minimizes cheating. So keep where we want to get. One of the things that's important for anybody from a bodybuilder, strength and power athlete, or just a general exercise enthusiast
See what this
to do these kind of things is because, again, we want to get some benefits that we're not getting from strength training, getting some end ranges of movement. I mean, how many exercises are we doing? Hold this for a second, that are forcing you to feel that, right, at end range. So this helps you maximize the range of motion that you're utilizing in your exercise. And you know, the greater range of motion we can do through strength training, the more benefit we're going to get. So we're going to do this exercise I came up with called the superdome. So let me just kind of quick demo this.
Supernova?
You're here.
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
say super dog.
take one leg straight back and then sit all the way back. This toe's curled up underneath. A lot of people ask flat or curled up, even curled up. And
Oh,
sit all the
shit.
way
No,
back
this
like
is-
this,
this is
and then
I can't
you're
do
running
that
up.
one.
So this rib is against this thigh, and then I'll coach up from there. Right? And obviously, you know, you're not always going to have
It's easy.
turf like this, right? So then go to your elbows. So you would have a If you're at like a aerobic room or something, you would use a mat. So you obviously not tough on your knees. Okay, so what happens here is because we take the low back by this keeping this left knee in the position it's in, we take the lumbar spine out of it. So now when I ask you to lift your leg up, you have to use your glute and your hamstring to do it. A lot of people can't even do it. It's tough. All right. So give me a couple reps, just make sure you can get it. Nice.
Yeah, shoes on.
Then you are. Yeah. Now, and we can see how much that glute's turned on. Now, I'm going to add another element to it. I want you to extend your left arm straight out and lift your thumb up, point your thumb to the sky, up and down, both at the same time. All right.
Crap.
We'll go 12 reps of each. 1 second. 1 second. You're doing a great job. The shoot here would be shifting forward and raising your butt into the air. You're doing a great job of not doing that. This is a lot harder than it looks. So like we said, this isn't just easy stuff, just warm up. I can bypass it. Man, you're hitting muscles in these end ranges of movement that really start to build more control and a little bit of strength, right? For sure. And that's another reason why I like these warm-ups. We do a lot of things that are on the left side and on the right side. So we can kind of see which side are you more dominant on, and we can address that in strength training.
Oh no, that's too much.
Nice.
That's a good exercise.
So when I'm doing something like this, obviously people that are doing this workout at home or in their gym, how will they know if they're executing this warm up or this technique with proper form?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked it. Actually, you asked it after a perfect exercise, because the nice thing about that exercise, why I designed it the way I did, we called it the super dog. So it's a combination of what's called the bird dog, which is this one, right? And this one. So I designed that exercise to make it so you can't do it wrong by putting you in that position, by sitting back to it.
Totally take the
Yeah, so either you do it right or you don't do it at all. Other exercises, you're gonna have to maybe get in front of a mirror, like the one I'm getting ready to show you, which is the shoulder L's.
Good.
So let's do that one. And that one is gonna be a little bit tougher. So let's have you facing this way, and I want you to give me your best Romanian deadlift type position. All right? And I wanna see more of a parallel torso in your hips, so more like that.
Good.
Perfect. So then from here, I want you to give me like a wide grip row. Excellent. So here's what I'm looking for. Now this is the one that's a little bit tougher. I want 90-90. I want 90 at your shoulders. If I'm looking at a bird's eye view, it looks like a T, and I want 90 at your elbow. Now you're going to hold this position, pretend there's an axle running through here, and you're just going to externally rotate, which means lift your arms up like this. Watch me. Here, you're going to go up, and you're going to go down. You got it.
Oh,
snap. So the common thing that people do
can
here,
do it.
and it's very hard to get the feel for it, that's why you need a mirror, is they let their elbows drop down towards their hips. So they go like this. They go like that, right? And again, just like we did with these different letters that we do, we're building endurance through here, because if you can't do this position, you can't do deadlifts well.
Right.
So we're starting to program in and prep your body to get in that position and move the bigger loads that we're going to do. So now what we want to do is work on some agility type work. So here's what I want you to do. Remember what I said about you want to minimize ground contact time?
Yep.
Right? So we're going to really focus on that plyometric. It's called the stretch reflex. So as soon as your foot hits the ground, I don't want you just to go like this and just think, oh, this is a useless warm-up. I want you to use this as an opportunity to work on that stiffness at your ankle so you can transfer force. So really quickly minimize time on the ground. All right? And we're going to go 15 per leg, so 30 total.
How important is your arm placement with this?
It goes together. When you walk, or if you tried to run and put your hands on your hips, right, it'd be really awkward. So your arms work with your opposite hip, as you see here. All right, good. Take a puff. So you take about 15, 20 seconds, and we'll go again. So one thing that's important there is the difference between power training and plyometric training. Power training is just explosion. Plyometric is working on that springiness. So one of the things that I kind of noticed with you there is you started to make it you're kind of overemphasizing.
It up.
Let the springiness from the ground do it for you.
Okay.
All right, so try it again. Be a little more relaxed with it. Just give me 5 each side. Better. See, you were just expending energy you didn't need to expend, and that's important when you're on the field. So 2 things. Number 1, we're getting ready to do full body workouts now. Second thing is the last exercise we finished on, that springy exercise, is going to lead us into the first exercises that we're going to get to, which demand more springiness and more explosion.
All right. Now that you warmed me up, what's your workout?
So we're going to pair up a broad jump, or some people call it a long jump, 3 reps per set, 4 sets. And we're also going to go over to the medicine ball, and we're going to do this rotational throw exercise, which we call punch and throws. So what I want you to do in your first jump, this isn't technically our first set, this is like a build-up set.
Okay.
All right, I want you to give me a 60% jump.
Okay.
All right? Perfect. So now give me about 70 to 75%.
Is it even
And that will go about 9 inches.
You try that line. See that black line?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So same thing with the medicine ball. We're just going to kind of groove the pattern a little bit. So let's get you facing me first.
So what's my grip on the ball?
I tell people, almost like you're going to smash the ball, right? The reason why we do that is we want that back elbow. Obviously, that's going to be your left arm because the wall's here, right? If you don't have a wall, you can do this in a parking lot. Buy a medicine ball, throw it as long as you can, about 45 degrees instead of straight.
Okay.
Walk to the ball, turn around, throw it.
Foot placement, am I shoulder width? Am I a little bit
Foot
wider?
placement is about an athletic stance, so I would say about somewhere between shoulder width apart, right? But everybody's a little different. I don't want you to get that low, just lightly, okay? Soft knee. Now, the big thing I want to see is this arm, your back arm, go straight through and watch the back foot. Boom, follows through, all right? So just be light with it, whether you catch it or not, I'm cool with it. Just for right now, give me 3 reps each side. Good. Let's go one more on that side. Beautiful. And let's turn around and show the other side.
But we're all gonna go back to that one that we had just did.
The leapfrogging?
Yeah. We're gonna do about 6 of
The
those.
leap one?
Maybe 6 to 10.
For what?
Exercise.
So what I want you to do when you first jump, this is not taking up for a set. This is your pull.
You don't
All
want to be on
right, I want you
Good,
to
I'm
give me
gonna go
the
to the black
60%
line.
jump. All right,
This line right here.
perfect.
That
This line,
So
I
now
think it's
give me
on
about
this
70
line.
and we're gonna try to go for this one. So for you, that'd be like right there.
And then we'll go
We're
about
gonna
9.
do 2 4. If you go in between this line, like right here,
Awesome.
that is perfect.
So same thing with the
He
medicine ball.
jumped
We're
right
just gonna
here. I
kind of
jumped
groove the
right
pattern a
here.
little bit. So let's get you
You think
facing
you can do
me
that?
first.
So what's my grip on the ball?
I tell people, almost like you're going to smash the ball, right? The reason why we do that is we want that back elbow.
I'm gonna pause it, and we're gonna try to do 6 of those. Or do you want us to do 5?
6.
Okay. Yeah.
That's 1. 6. No 2.
Four. 5. So do without sleeping. 6. That's 7.
Bow. Obviously, that's going to be your left arm because the wall's here, right? If you don't have a wall, you can do this in a parking lot. Buy a medicine ball, throw it as long as you can, about 45 degrees instead of straight. Walk to the ball, turn around.
You did
Throw it.
6.
Foot placement, am I shoulder width? Am I a little bit
Foot
wider?
placement is about an athletic stance, so I would say about somewhere between shoulder width apart, right? But everybody's a little different. I don't want you to get that low, just lightly. Okay, soft knee. Now the big thing I want to see is this arm, your back arm, go straight through and watch the back foot. Boom, follows through, right? So just be light with it, whether you catch it or not, I'm cool with it. Just for right now, give me 3 reps each side. Good. Let's go one more on that side. Beautiful. And let's turn around to the side. Nice work. Now what you can do on that, as we get into it, if you feel like you get a little more power, and you probably will, is you don't have to just stand in the middle. You can shift the
Kind of like a 1 rep max.
Good question. It's 5 single reps back to back. So it's like 5 singles. All right. So let's get you back on your long jump. These are your working sets now, brother. Nice.
That wasn't ninja feet.
That's all right. I think it was pretty
That
good.
was like that was lineman feet.
I can't relate to these NFL jokes.
Yeah, we already did that. You did 6. I did 10.
It's okay, but I'm not really encouraging you to sit there and walk around for 2 minutes in between exercises. Exercises like the broad jumps and the deadlifts that have a risk component.
Exercise.
Send it.
Should be counted in the 2020 census.
Everybody.
Everyone. Doesn't even matter where you're from.
Young, old, new to the country.
Little kids, babies.
This is probably the most important duty because it projects your voice.
Every single person counts.
All right, guys, so as many of you in my programs already know from my announcement earlier last week, in light of all the coronavirus promotion and outbreaks in this world, I thought it would be a great idea for me to make a science-based, full-body home workout routine that you can resort to in the event that you're either staying away from the gym or the gyms in your area are currently closed due to the outbreak. Now, typically, when we think of home workouts where you're more or less limited to just using your body weight, we automatically assume that they're inferior for muscle growth when compared to working out at a gym where you have access to heavy weights. And I'm not going to lie, for most home body weight workouts out there, this is true, and they are in fact inferior for growth. But this is simply because they aren't designed properly, because research has time and time again shown that in both untrained and trained individuals, you can make comparable gains in muscle mass by using either lighter loads with your body weight, for example, or heavier weights in the gym. But the catch is that there's a couple key points that people overlook when it comes to home workouts, which are key to ensuring that you're still able to maximize your growth despite being limited to just your body weight. These key points are essential that you incorporate into the routine I'll be showing you today and are as follows. First off, and arguably most important, is that you need to push to near failure for every single set that you perform in this workout. This is because research has shown that when using lighter loads, if you stop well short of failure during your sets, then you'll fail to fully activate all the motor units within your muscles, and as a result, you won't experience the same amount of growth that you would when using heavy weights. Therefore, during each set of this workout, you want to push until you generally just have a couple reps left in the tank before you would not be able to perform another rep with good form due to muscle fatigue. Now, this will be very uncomfortable to do given that we'll be working with a higher rep range, but it's essential that you push through if you truly want to maximize your growth with this routine. Secondly, although research has shown that working with higher reps and lighter loads, like with your body weight, for example, can lead to comparable growth as heavier weights in the gym, it seems that there is a low-end cutoff to this where if you train with loads or use a resistance that is too light, then you won't be able to maximize growth, which seems to be right around 30 to 40% of your 1 rep max. Meaning that during each of your sets, you need to be working with a weight or resistance that is at least 30 to 40% of your 1 rep max if you want to maximize growth. Now, although this is easier to calculate when using weights, since we're just using our body weight in this workout, we want to convert this to reps. So 30 to 40% of your 1 rep max equates to around 30 to 40 reps per set. And what this means is that if you're doing one of the exercises in the workout I'll show you today, and you're able to perform more than 30 or 40 reps on it during each set when pushing to near failure, then it's an indication that you aren't using a resistance or variation that's difficult enough, and you want to instead use one of the progressions that I'll show you to make the movement more demanding. So ideally, you should not be reaching over 30 to 40 reps during any of your sets in this workout. Now that we have that covered, we're ready to dive into the full body home workout designed to train all of your upper body and lower body musculature in a proportionate manner. I'll first go through the various exercises and how to perform them, and then I'll cover your options in terms of how to best execute the workout. The first exercise we'll use here are narrow grip push-ups with the hands placed in a diamond shape, which will be used to target the chest and triceps. We'll be using this specific hand placement since 3 EMG papers have confirmed that it elicits significantly greater chest and triceps activation when compared to a shoulder width or wide hand placement during the push-up. We'll perform 4 sets of these in total. 2 of these sets will be performed on a flat surface to emphasize the whole chest, whereas 2 of these sets should be performed in a decline with your feet elevated and your hands positioned a little bit more towards your face, as this will now shift more emphasis to the upper chest, given that it now incorporates more shoulder flexion into the push-up, which is one of the main functions of the upper chest. And to progress this movement, you can simply stuff a bag with books and strap it onto your back to gradually increase the load. You can also use a band to add more resistance to the movement as well. Next, we're going to move on to the inverted row to target our overall back with most of the emphasis on the mid-back for thickness. Now, ideally, for the most resistance, you should either use a broom or mop and place that between two chairs, or you can perform this under a sturdy table like so. And to make this movement easier, you can start out with bent knees to use your legs for support. Another option though is the following setup instead, which we'll continue to use later on in this workout. Simply take 2 bed sheets or towels, tie a basic knot at the end of each of them, and then throw it over your door and close your door. This will enable you to now perform your row like so. For whichever variations you do choose though, you can progress them by either getting your body more horizontal to the ground by elevating your feet, for example, and or add more load with the use of a backpack stuffed with books. Next, we'll be moving on to something called pike push-ups to mainly target the shoulders and triceps. For these, you can start them out on the ground by assuming a push-up position and then moving your hands closer to your feet while keeping your legs straight, such that your body now makes an upside-down V shape. Then bend your elbows and lower your upper body until the top of your nose nearly touches the floor. Your head should...
Okay, so everyone, yeah, I appreciate everyone who came in tonight and joined us on the screen. Those that are in the background that lurked, and those that in the background that lurked, and those that came by. We're gonna be doing stuff like this a bit more often than normal, and then there's gonna be a lot more stuff. So yeah, this was just as far as a basic tip of we're gonna be doing this every day. Promote family health and also my health. And so yeah, wish everybody to be safe during this coronavirus outbreak, and we'll see you next time. Peace.